Hey guys, it is Chelsea Perry here coming at you with week 2, module 2 discussion board post. And sorry, you can't really see my eyes, the glare from the computer's in them. But the prompt for this week, it said to just talk about groupthink in great detail. Are there any positive or negatives to groupthink, and have you ever experienced it? So, here we go. So, according to our textbook, groupthink is a problem-solving process in which proposals are accepted without a critical, careful review of the pros and cons of the alternatives, and which is considerable social pressure is brought to bear against those expressing opposing viewpoints of view. And that was found on page 222. Whoop whoop. So we are just gonna jump right in. There obviously can be some negatives to groupthink. I have a few written down. So a lot of times, not a lot, I say a lot of times, but, not all the time. But some negatives to groupthink are bad decision making. Sometimes it cannot include everyone. Like if you're in a group and say I was in a group of like 5 people and I was the only one who didn't believe a certain way or believe something, then I would feel like I wouldn't be included. Kind of like with this dang coronavirus stuff. I'm probably one of the only people probably on this planet at this point, honestly, that is actually not freaking out about it. I mean, I work in a daycare anyway, so I'm constantly washing my hands, coming home and showering, and I didn't realize how much social distancing I actually did, until this was actually we were made to social distance, because I realized all I go to is from work and home and then home to work, so I really haven't changed anything about my day, because I'm still working. I'm an essential. Woo. So I'm not included with everybody else who's freaking out. So I'm the odd man out. And then sometimes a groupthink can lack creativity. And sometimes they can not be as open to new ideas. A groupthink only thinks about what they have in common, or like a certain point of view, and they are not always open to new ideas. So sometimes it can be a very unhealthy environment to work in. I know for me right now, being considered an essential worker, but it's like, oh my God, you're going to work, you should be home quarantined. And I'm like, I'm not doing anything different. We're just adding more cleaning routine to our day. So, yeah. But then there can also be some positives to groupthink. I have written down, it gives people a drive to go on an issue. And you're all working towards a common goal. And so since you're all on the same page, it can sometimes make the group work less stressful. And a lot of times, groupthink can be based on social media. Again, I'm going to refer... Sorry, I've got my pen waving. Again, I'm going to refer to the coronavirus. So, social media... Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think this is it's a real thing. And people have died from it and stuff like that. But they don't talk about the suicides that happen every day. Like, all the people that are posting, oh my God, stay home. Stuff like that. Like, they don't talk about the suicides that happen every day. There are more suicides a day than coronavirus has killed people. So I think it's just a big social media has hyped it up, and I feel like personally, they are only hyping the negative. Like the other day, like you see all this stuff, like the numbers are rising and rising and rising, and they've called martial law in some states, like they've set curfew, stuff like that. But the one thing people are not sharing is the recovery rate. I was reading I found an article the other day that is actually verified, it is true. Over 300,000 people have recovered from the coronavirus. And then also in New York City, like one of their hospitals in New York, the other day, their hospital page actually released a statement that said that they had released more COVID-19 patients than they had taken in like 2 or 3 weeks. So everybody is hyped up about that. So I think that plays into groupthink. Social media, like, helps with the negatives because you can get with your own certain group of people and you're so stuck in your ways that you don't see what other people see. Like, my Facebook is riddled with, like, oh my God, people are dying, it's such a bad virus and stuff like that. And, like, that's literally all my timeline is. But they're not showing the people that have recovered and the numbers of, like, just stuff like that. And so that can go along with groupthink. That if you get so set in your ways, that it can make it hard to work in a group if you're set in your ways. I personally, thinking back on, like, all the groups that I've ever worked with, I can't really recall a time that I have had a problem with anybody like that. Like, I've never... So, for most of the part, like, elementary, middle, and high school, I was always the one that did all the work. Like, everybody else in my groups were lazy. So, it's fine. But then, since I've gotten into college, like, I've not really had any problems. Like, we're always, like, chill. We're just like, well, if you want to do this, I'll do this. If you do that, I'll do this. Like, so, I think groupthink can definitely be positive, but it can also be negative. It just depends on your view on it. And that's it. Bye!